Hello, everyone. We're live with Pokemon D&D and D&D and Dragons and Dragons.
That's right.
The show where the fun never stops.
You certainly don't sound like you're having a good time, Crow.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. No, seriously, I love you guys. So that's why I do this week after week or 2 weeks after 2 weeks. I'm trying to get a sneeze out, but it won't come out. Isn't that the most annoying thing in the world? Okay.
Believe me.
Anyway, perhaps I'll just be a nice boy and designate the recap to Sonic Link because it doesn't seem very fair to do the recap with all these people here who probably didn't know what went on last episode.
What, are you sure they don't want their luck points?
Well, actually, I'm going to
Okay.
be doing something different.
Oh,
Luck
okay.
luck points are still a thing, but yeah, you'll
Okay.
you'll see what happens.
All right. Well, last time on Pokemon D&D and Dark Heroes, after the court case went about as foobarred as you can imagine, the two Glameow summoned all their guards around, and it was basically agreed that since we couldn't do diplomacy, we decided to choose violence, and choose violence we did. Lucius basically went ham with Nova. Roland did some unlocking with his unlocking the light villains in order to allow them to join in the fight. Lucius also used his orbs and shields and all that to stall as long as possible because Blue had a contingency. The judge took a few hits, but he managed to not die thanks to the Gallade, and the gallery were basically hiding the entire time. And Rosa, once she was free, decided to go ham, clawing at the Glameow to go ham on them. But eventually, Alternus used his Oathbreaker channel divinity stuff to cause a bunch of Gallade to be afraid of him and him to be afraid of a bunch of Gallade. And as they were running away, a Victini called by Blue came in, and because Victini is so well revered, none of the guards that were willing to fight anymore wanted to fight anymore. So the battle ended there, and the light villains were more or less free to well, they weren't technically free. It was considered a mistrial, but with the knowledge what the mayor was doing down and dusted, the light villains were given a fair trial, in which case they managed to get their acquittal, and all groups eventually converged back into the Expedition Society not village building through the back entrance where finally gave the Elysian blueprints and the Imperium to Mawile so that Jirachi can begin building his spaceship. Rain was somewhat reintroduced to the madness, though he's probably still also very much confused. And we managed to pull it off so that Bolton is going to get a bunch of singers to sing the Gratuitia Harmonia for us to help weaken Sapnok for the final battle. But before that, Mawile gave everyone basically tickets to go wherever they want to say their final goodbyes because the chances of us going to returning back from the moon are very low. So that is basically what happened. Though Raffa also sort of betrayed the party and told Mawile all the secrets we tried to keep secret because Raffa is an archaeologist and felt it deserved to be known. And that is basically what happened.
Because it belongs in a museum.
So do
Yeah.
you.
All right. So what I'm gonna do for good recaps from now on is, well, from what little we have left, is you just get like a one-time inspiration for the session, and the luck points will still be handed out as normal for the good RP.
Okay.
And so for the next 2 parts, me, Sonic Link, and Ed will be doing their sessions today, and on Wednesday, it'll be Ren and Fire Ally doing their parts for the RP session this week. Stay tuned.
Just about to get to that. So yeah, we're kind of divided up due to kind of a mixture of schedule conflicts and the copious amount of party members. You might notice some familiar faces in the little circles over to the right. They may or may not, and spoilers, they will play a part in the session. And all right, so you are all going kind of your separate ways to each of your hometowns. You've kind of got a destination in mind. I actually believe that you were given like kind of an express Expedition Society VIP Lapras liner pass to go wherever you want. But the funny thing is that I think actually 4 of you are heading in the same direction to the grass continent. So you don't...
and you've got all 3 of us in the same room, so all 3 of us are going to the grass continent, aren't we?
Yeah, no, Henry is going too. We'll see what that kind of entails, but Raffa takes a different one that is going to the Mist Continent, which you had just visited, the Forest of the Fairies. But we'll deal with that another day, as in 3 days from now. You say your goodbyes to Raffa. We'll be back in a few weeks, a week, 2 weeks. You don't really know. And the travel is very smooth. You perhaps discuss different things with each other while on this Lapras. You notice it's a lot faster and a lot smoother than the ship you had, since the Lapras doesn't seem to tire out while surfing you to the next continent. But you 4, Rain, Lucius, Rodney, and Henry, you all arrive at Kapim Town, the harbor for the grass continent, where you all disembark.
Cape in Town.
Yeah.
Back where it all began.
Say that again.
Back where it all began.
I didn't mean literally.
I bought some sticks here.
Well, guys, I don't know if I can say I hope you guys have fun, but at the very least, hope this will help you be ready for what we have to do.
Yeah. You notice, Lucius, that Rodney's headspace is kind of a little bit elsewhere at the moment?
I'm off, you guys. See you in a few weeks. And Lucius begins making his way home.
Yeah, Henry also kind of bids you adieu with his hat as he goes off in another direction.
Well,
see you in a couple of weeks, Rain, I guess.
yeah. See you soon.
All right, Rodney, where are you going?
So where Rodney is going is where the apparently Team Shadow's new base's operations is located. Probably in the same place as it usually was, but Team Shadow's new base of operations, or Phantom Thieves as they used to be called, operations where they were. I believe we established it's in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Here, in fact, in this town. So it's actually pretty close.
Alright, so he's heading that way.
All right. This place is known for its forest, so it's not particularly dangerous. You arrived here in the morning, so you don't really have any fear of being ambushed. There's other Pokemon kind of walking through this forest too. leaving the port town or going towards it. So, um, you get there without a hitch. It's kind of off the beaten path since it was formerly a hideout. So
I don't know. Yeah.
you're kind of like branches are kind of thwacking you as you kind of romp and stomp through this off the path.
Oh, stupid sticks.
But you eventually make it back to your former hideout.
I wonder if it hasn't changed one bit.
It seemed,
Kinda looks similar.
and I'm going to leave this up to Quill and Phantom, or Quill and Doc. What do you think this hideout looks like now?
Well, what did it look like before?
Well, it was kind of it kind of had the cover of trees over it. It was kind of camouflaged into the backdrop of this forest. It had kind of this doorway to it that you kind of had to do the whole like knock 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 and open. And you have to
So
do
it was
this.
like an abandoned shack in the middle of the woods that was well protected.
Yeah. And then it kind of the inside of it kind of led to this just this ransacked shed pretty much that went down into this base with kind of all your tools of the trade.
All right, well, it's probably got a fresh coat of paint at the very least.
All right. Rodney approaches the entrance to the doorway, and he opens it without hesitation. He feels like he can let himself in.
All right. Are you guys maybe working on it? Or like in Jurassic World where you see like the guy working in this like hut in the middle of nowhere, or are you just kind of there for the sake of being there?
I never really gave them much information besides the few loose plot points, so they've got to make that up as they go.
Okay.
Okay, well, if we're making it up as we go, Roland, you open the door and there is a fist in your face, but it's not hitting you. It's like stopped mere inches from your face. He's like,
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hey! It's me!
"Good grief, Roland, do you think you could knock first?"
I figured I might as well come in here. I didn't know that anyone was... Well, I kind of expected Phantom to be here, but... Can I just please go in, please?
Yeah, no problem. And Lee just kind of steps aside and does the after you motion with his arms.
I go in, and we head down the steps towards the basement of operations, I guess.
Yeah. And it's been kind of maybe a week or two since you've seen Rodney, so he's still kind of fresh in your mind, Lee.
Yeah. And Lee says to him, "So are you done saving the world already?"
No. No, not yet.
I guess we wouldn't be so lucky, huh?
No, I just kind of need to think about it for a couple of weeks, I guess. Let's just go down here. I'll talk about it more along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure you got something to say since you're here. May as well save your breath to tell us both at the same time. Or, well,
Exactly.
all of us.
Yeah.
They really haven't changed the place much in the past 4 years, huh?
Not really. I mean, we're working on it. We got quite a bit of money off of that autographed picture of the Team Charm, but takes a little while to get the supplies here, you know. So once we get all that here, we're gonna make the place look a whole lot better than this dump that it currently looks like. I don't know if you noticed, but we were working on a bit of painting it a bit, but
Yeah, I've noticed. It used to be like brown before, and now you've painted it like a grayish color. I like that.
yeah, and you know, a nice neutral color kind of goes with everything.
So where is Phantom, by the way?
Oh, he's just down here. He probably can
Alright.
already hear us talking.
Yeah, true enough.
despite you giving up the tools of the trade, you kind of didn't give up on this place since it's kind of free real estate, and so
Yeah.
you may have come here just to live here or spruce it up for maybe some future goals. That's kind of more the reason you're here, more or less.
Eventually,
more
we
or
get
less.
to the main basement room, or I guess we could call it sort of like a living room area.
Yeah. It's pretty much where you went to go, like, get briefed, where you have all your, like, super special Ocean's 11 blueprints of how you're gonna pull off everything.
I'm pretty sure a couple of these documents had not moved since the last time I seen them.
And off in the corner, Phantom is sitting at a desk poring over some books. Possibly researching something, possibly managing this team's finances, who knows. But he turns
Yo,
around as you enter.
Auntie.
Hey, boss. Company.
Hi, Fant.
No, I didn't expect to see you.
Yeah. I figured I might as well come over here since I figured you two would probably be here. I kind of wanted to say one last goodbye to some old places first.
Oh,
It's a long story. I'm sure Lee has brought you up to speed with some of the details.
yeah. Yeah, he did.
Did he tell you about the rocket?
He did mention that, yeah.
Then you know where I might be, where I'm heading off to then, huh?
This is really happening, huh?
I go sit down on the couch. I mean, you don't really have to roll perception checks, but you can see that Rodney is kind of troubled as he sits down, and it's kind of hard trying to get out the words.
Let's take a break there.
Okay.
Rain. I would guess you are en route to your hometown. What would you imagine? What would you imagine that would look like? You don't have to worry about any like accuracy to the game or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that my hometown is pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
It's a town where everybody knows everybody. There's like a little market that everybody goes to. There's a church at like the end of the street where I live. Speaking of the street where I live in a small little dainty house that's big enough for 4. And I just immediately head there.
All right. Yeah, you know your town pretty well, so you could, despite not being here for, I think about 2 months is the runtime of this 3-year campaign. You're able to kind of beeline your way just through the streets and alleys, small alleyways of this town, and you find your way, before you know it, at your doorstep.
I take a deep breath, and I knock on the door.
You give a few with your flippers, and you're. Oh, who is that? Just a second. You hear some stomping,
Mm-hmm.
and then the door opens. Wasn't locked. To reveal this big Empoleon, big old Empoleon. Is the crest on his forehead is kind of broken, and he looks down at you. He kind of looks around at first, seeing no one, and then he looks down.
Hi, Grandpa.
You're back!
I give him a big hug.
Yeah, he kind of scoops you with one of his wings. Right. I'm at a loss for words. What are you doing back so soon?
It's it's a very, very long story.
Well, tell me all about it, boy. Come in. You must be starving.
I sniff. Do I smell any food?
You know what? Let's do a perception roll.
Whoa, we're rolling in this story.
Yeah, you managed to invoke a roll.
Hold on. I forgot to pull up my character sheet because I figured we weren't gonna roll.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
pull that up. In
I told
just a
Doc
second.
and Quill to have their character sheets just in case.
Yeah, maybe. I told Doc not
It's
to
gonna-
level
It's
up.
only gonna take a quick second. It's loading right now. It's already up. Okay, perception. Oh, I got a pretty good perception.
Should be
An 18.
All right. You smell some. You smell fish. And so fish. And before we say anything here, there's fish that like salmon and tuna exist in this world that the fish Pokemon eat. So it's
Yeah.
not weird. It's- All right. Yeah. No, that's what you smell.
I'm still young. I'm still a pretty picky eater, so I kind of just ignore the smell of the fish. It smells good, but I'm like, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So instead, I just excitedly go to the couch
Yeah.
and like a kid at who just went to an amusement park, I just excitedly tell Gramps what has happened to me for the past 2 months. I
Yeah.
don't leave out any details.
So
Mentioning that the last month has been a literal blur, but
yeah. Doesn't seem you got to see as much as you wish to see, but every story has multiple pages in a chapter, they say. You have a lot of pages left, my boy.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, guess what? Guess what?
What?
I'm going to the moon.
That's when he kind of blanks for a while. And... Oh, that sounds great. There you go. There's another chapter.
I laugh knowing that he kind of doesn't understand.
He's kind of jovially laughing as well.
Yeah.
Is Dad home?
Oh, well, I think you know where your father is.
That's okay.
Just left, he did. Did you see him on your way here?
No, I didn't. I was planning on heading over there anyway myself, so I'll see him in a little bit.
Well, sure to tell him about your grand adventure, or the chapter of it. But would you like something to eat before you go? Right.
It's at this point where I notice my stomach is growling,
Oh, yeah.
and I remember the fish,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, sure, I'll eat the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go for a bite.
These are more for me, but since you're back and all, you probably deserve a bit of a hero's welcome. And he pulls away the mat from underneath his rocking chair, and he pulls out a sack from underneath the floorboards. And inside is a lot of berries, a lot of different berries The gourmet
My
kind.
eyes light up,
Yeah.
and I just go to town.
Yeah. And yeah, he gives you just he tries to wait, catch this one, and he tries to like throw it in your mouth and like get you to catch it like a like a circus animal.
I attempt it.
Yeah. Let's do an acrobatics check. I gotta make you work for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
16.
you got it. Looks like you're gonna miss it, but you managed to like maybe you like managed to balance it on your beak, but then it just like falls in. Ah, good job. My training didn't go to waste. And yeah, you kind of gorge as we cut to Lucius. You are on the road to Ironforge, Lucius. You're kind of walking that lonely path you walked before. You maybe see that that footprint that kind of makes you cringe a little bit on your way there.
Yeah, Lucius is walking it with partial nervousness because of what he plans to do there, and also partial nervousness because the last time he went to his hometown, it was controlled by random human. So he's kind of silently hoping / praying that nothing bad happened to the town since he's been gone this time.
Yeah. And you remember they kind of they relocated the town for a little bit upon your request. So they're you know, you don't know how they're taking that. But you eventually see your hometown on the horizon after a day or two travel. And you hear the clank clank and the bang bang of the mines in the distance. Very familiar, nostalgic sound to you.
Yeah, hearing this, he breathes a bit of a sigh of relief because at least that more than likely suggests that things are fine in there.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you are kind of in front of your town.
Okay. As Lucius stands there, he takes a breath and two. He's filled with nervous energy right now, but eventually he walks with determination, and his first stop is to his parents' house.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or, well, I mean, parents, quote unquote, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. The town is well. It's a little different because twice now it's been kind of moved away and moved back, so things might be a little off. But you're able to kind of get your way through it and re-acclimatize yourself to the layout of New Ironforge, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah, you find your dwelling.
Lucius, he stands there for a moment, sorta gets prepared, gets ready, and eventually he knocks on the door.
There's a moment of silence, and then after a few moments, a Diggersby opens the door. Oh, Lucius, you're back.
Hi, Dad. Yeah, I'm back.
What brings you back here?
A few things. Do you mind if I come in to talk with you and Mom for a bit?
You're asking permission to come in your own house. Come in.
Okay. Lucius walks in.
Yeah. That's when turning around from doing some dishes, you see your mother kind of look behind her and see you. Oh, Lucius!
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, he decided to come back. Are you staying here?
Sadly, not for now. I need to go back after a bit. I'm just here for, I suppose the best way to call it is a bit of a break.
Well, you shouldn't, maybe not let, Everest see you. He's most likely just going to give you trouble.
Probably, but suppose I'll deal with that if it comes to it. First, there's something important I need to say to both of you.
That's when they look at each other. And that is?
I want to thank you, actually.
Whatever for.
I want to thank you for adopting me.
That's kind of when like a stone cold silence enters the room.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of adventures and doing a lot of things, and I learned the truth about myself.
They seem to be like not knowing what to say. What do you mean, son?
I know about the Craigstone Blaze. I learned about what happened there, and I know that a Buneary named Lucius died in that fire. I also know, though you might know, I know a Houndour called Incensia. She brought me to your doorstep and made sure you would adopt me before she left.
The silence kind of lingers for a while, and then Mira kind of pipes up that we won't lie to you. It's just we never wanted to lie to you. It's just been hard to tell you with everything that happened.
I know, and I don't blame you. When I first heard the news, there was, I don't want to say I was bitter, but I felt like I was just an inferior replacement to what your son would have been, but I'm past that now. I've been through a lot since I've left, and I'm no longer the same Buneary that left. Now, I'm glad that you both took me in. I'm glad that you raised me to be who I was, even though it might have been hard for you guys on occasion. I'm glad you gave me the love and support I needed.
You see, like we said, we never wanted to lie to you. It's just it was hard for us to come to terms with too, that we lost our son that day, and we mourned him, but then out of nowhere another child ended up on our doorstep, and perhaps we should apologize to you for not telling you and not giving you another name, treating you as this replacement.
If I'm being honest, it probably would have been. Had you told me before now, I probably wouldn't have been able to handle the truth, honestly. I was a little unstable after the accident and what happened, and if you told me, I probably would have just ran off feeling like that inferior replacement, but I understand. Believe me, I do. I'm not really. I may have taken the name of Lucius, but I'm my own Pokemon and I made my own choices. I've done my own events, and that's something I never would have had the chance for had you just left me and not taken me in. So even though it's difficult, I'm glad, and I probably found out about it in, well, not necessarily the best way possible. It certainly didn't help me in the short term, but it helped me come to terms with it before I could return back here to tell you guys.
We also should apologize that we know that we haven't treated you the best either. No one in this town has. I don't know if they knew or... It's just... It was unfair to put you through that. And we're sorry.
Thank you. I understand why. So I learned when I looked through everything, a lot of the Pokemon from here in Ironforge were in Craigstone before everything was ablaze. I don't know too many, but I do know Everest lost his daughter Danella in that blaze as well. She and Lucius probably both were at the same orphanage, so I understand that. I understand why they reacted what they did, but I do agree. I don't think it was right for what they did.
So, knowing this information, what do you plan to do now, Lucius?
I have a mission. I could tell you about it, but you probably wouldn't believe me, but there's a mission that I'll do later on, but for now, at least here in town, I do want to tell Everest, I do want to talk with Everest and try and have a heart-to-heart with him, at least now that I understand the pain he went through and why what I did probably more than anything scared him so much.
I can't promise he will be as genuine and forgiving towards you as literally anyone else in the town will.
I don't imagine it either, but, well, I suppose you two should know. The mission I have, unless either of you have heard of something called Imperium, and Lucius shows them the photo of the Imperium. Seen an ore like this, the mission I have, there's a highly likelihood that I won't be able to come back from.
Not coming back? What do you mean? They don't look like they know what it is.
Yeah, I didn't think they would. And neither did Lucius. Alright, I suppose I'll come out and say it. It's sort of If you want more details, I could tell you, but it's sort of like I'm going through a one-way mystery dungeon, and as far as I know, there's no way back.
All right, I'm gonna say I'm gonna cut you off here, and you're gonna kind of maybe explain it in the way you give me when you get back to you. But we're gonna go back to Rodney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phantom, you remember from those comic books how the hero always seems to make it out fine in the end.
Phantom just gives you a very uncomfortable look. Yeah?
It never once occurred to me that over the past 2 months that I would be sent to a mission that would probably end up with my certain death. And now, weeks away from having to go on that flight to a point of no return and hardly any way of knowing if I'm going to come back, I don't know if I can do this.
Oh, and you've always thought you were going to die, or that everything was going to go horribly wrong, and you've always made it through just fine. The stakes are higher now, but like I said, you've made it through everything before now.
Yeah, but because I always saw that there was a chance to come back alive. You see these odds that are coming right now? It's like 1,000,000 to 1. How am I supposed to be comfortable with that?
Guess it is a bit different this time, isn't it?
Even worse, I only hear about a month ago, thanks to Lee, that I've got my freedom back. I only recently just got my freedom back, and I'm expected to just throw it all away for a rocket ship to the moon with hardly any chance to come back. I
mean, I understand how you feel, Roland. I mean, it kind of sucks that I got all of our freedom back, and now there's a chance that we're all just gonna die. It, like, feels like chasing after the wind, you know?
I don't know. Maybe they can just do fine on their own. Maybe they don't need me.
Roland, if you remember, after we got done with our business in Naginata, you weren't sure if you wanted to continue.
And almost
So-
immediately afterwards I left. Yeah, I remember
So you
that.
came back here, thought about things. You came to the conclusion this was too important for you to back out of.
Yeah, but that was before about the rocket ship, though.
You've always known there was going to be risks involved with this, Roland. You're a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for.
So then, what if I don't come back? I never even considered that possibility. I've always considered the fact that I might get possibly dangerously hurt, but I never thought I would die. I mean, did I?
I seem to recall you saying that a lot. Has a small, slightly smug grin.
Rodney kind of says nothing. He's unsure of what to do next.
I know that this line of work never really appealed to you, but you've done it anyway. What is it that's kept you going up until now? You've
The
had a
perseverance to
million and
complete
one
the
chances to
very
back out. Why haven't you?
end. A sense of will, a perseverance to continue on to the very end. No matter how much hard of a rock things seem to be throwing at me, somehow I always found a way, even if I'm not smarter than the smarties or tougher than the toughies.
I think exactly. If you don't do this, who else will?
Yeah, it's not like many other Pokemon can survive the vacuum of space.
You make a very good point. But,
Yeah, I'd offer to take your place, Roland, but I can't breathe on the moon, so I can't really offer you that.
you're right. I put myself up to this, I might as well see it through. Even if it does mean I probably won't come back. Rodney reaches into his pockets to try to find something.
All right. Is that a cue to cut to Rain?
Yeah, you can cut to Rain.
All right, Rain. You after hanging out with Grandpa Orly, you're pretty stuffed with fish and berries.
Yeah.
Or maybe you forego the fish just to eat those berries.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we hang out for a bit, and after maybe 10, 20 minutes or so of being home, I head over to where Dad is.
All right.
Let Gramps know.
I'm heading there.
He kind of gives you a forlorn nod. The kind of joviality of him kind of drops as you mention that, and he nods at you.
Be back in a bit.
And I head on over.
Okay. Yeah, you probably know where this place is very easily. You can navigate your way there. So you navigate the streets, maybe seeing some familiar faces and some Pokemon kind of like greeting you. Like, hi, Rain. Long time no see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you make your way to the cemetery.
I head to where I know Dad is.
Yeah. Yeah, you go through the rows of tombstones. Seeing like all the various epithets on them. They seem to be there's a lot of very very detailed ones since this is a very smaller town. So it doesn't just say a name and birth, death, R.I.P. They usually have a little more meaning on them. Yeah. But you eventually see the younger, but still maybe middle-aged Empoleon standing in front of a tombstone, quite close to the ocean, actually.
I take a deep breath. And I walk up to him. Kind of stand by his side for a little bit.
Yeah. Without even looking down at you, it's kind of like maybe a fatherly, just this fatherly sense. He just says to you, so you're back.
Yeah. For a little while, anyway.
How did it go?
It was scary, but fun. A lot of fun.
Most journeys are. Knew I'd be here.
Yeah.
What do you remember most about her?
Her smile. It was always full of cheer and kindness. It was so warm.
You were probably too young to remember this, but while practicing with your grandfather, you fell flat on your face for an hour straight and you started blubbering like an infant over it. But then you went to her and she told you, Rain, the most important step you take in life isn't your first one, nor is your last one. The most important step you take is your next one. Even when you feel like you've been pushed back, take another step. Maybe a small step or a big one. But no matter how insignificant or remarkable, take it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't think about it too long. Just take it. And then take another one. And another one.
I give him a hug.
In the same manner your grandfather did, he kind of gives you one too. And he says, do you have that music box with that annoying song she sung still?
I do.
And I take it out.
Can you play it?
I start cranking it up.
Yeah.
And I let it play.
Yeah. Just kind of the song rings out through the cemetery as you two stand there. After a lot of reflection, he says, well, you probably have a lot to tell me, don't you?
Yeah. Quite a bit, you could say. But if now's not the time, that's okay. I can do it later.
Yeah. Perhaps maybe you could stay for a while by yourself. I'm probably going to head back to the house.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see you in a few.
He nods at you and he waddles away.
Waddle, waddle.
Waddle, waddle, penguin waddle. So after maybe standing there for a few moments, unless you say anything.
Yeah. So after he leaves, I stare at my mom's grave for a little while. Not really a clear emotion on my face, just staring for a few minutes. And suddenly, a smile hits my face, and I sit down, and I have a little chat with my mom.
Hey, Mom. It's me, Rain. I'm back home. Not for long, though. I'm going on a trip again real soon. I'm actually going to the moon, if you can believe it. Still admittedly not quite sure why, but it's pretty exciting. You know, it's funny. The last 2 months of my life have kind of been a blur. And I mean that both literally and figuratively, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, I've gone on lots of adventures since I left home. Most of the time, things were pretty great. There were some scary moments, sure, but nothing me and my friends couldn't handle. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I've made some new friends. There's Lucius, who is kind of the leader of our little group, I would say. He's a little sad sometimes, but he has a really good heart. And then there's Henry, and let me tell you, he is a hoot. Super funny and really talented, too. Rodney's a bit of a character, but he isn't really all that bad once you get to know him. He's the first one of the group that really got to know me. My first real friend. And then there's Raffa, who you would absolutely love. She's an archaeologist, and she's really fun. It's funny, sometimes she'll have this look in her eyes that sort of reminds me of you. And there's Sora, Nocturne, Mimikyu. I really have the best of pals. I'll have to introduce you to them sometime. I'm sure you'd love them all.
I kind of just touch my scarf. Her scarf.
I'm glad I still have this small part of you. I know you're watching over me, but whenever I wear this scarf, it feels like you're still here with me. Like I can almost feel your embrace at all times. It's comforting. Knowing that you're there with me in some way.
I crank up the music box again and let it play for a bit.
Yeah.
And the tune kind of resets. And since I know that it's a lullaby that my mom sang for me and taught me, I start singing it.
While you're singing it, you notice something, or rather someone you did not notice before, didn't even notice really enter this graveyard at all. Not even really at a grave, looking more out to the sea. That's kind of is overlooking the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Fennekin. She's pretty young. You've never seen her before. She looks like maybe about your age, but she's just kind of like looking out at the water. And that's when we'll cut to Lucius.
I think you're murdering Quill right now.
All right. Yeah. Lucius, you kind of regale them with the story of the moon. I guess I can ask, like, how do you put it literally, or do you put it subtly? Kind of, you know.
Lucius is definitely trying to put it as subtly as possible. He doesn't really want to worry his family heavily with the gravity of the situation, but does want them to understand there's a good chance that he's not going to be coming back.
And they say to you, and I suppose there's nothing we can do to stop you.
No, there isn't. There is a strong part of me that doesn't want to do this, believe me. I'm honestly absolutely terrified, and I don't want to have to do this, but it's not a choice I have anymore, because I do have to do it. I have to go on this journey, and I have to see it through to the end.
Well, then, the very least we can do for you is support your decision.
Thank you. So yeah, that's ultimately what I'm here for. I'm here to say my final goodbyes and to thank you.
At the very least, can you stop by for dinner before you go?
Yeah, I will. Don't worry, I don't plan on just up and leaving right now. I'm gonna at least stay the night before I head back.
Very well. Let's try to make this a happy occasion then.
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
All right, and I suppose maybe you stay there and maybe talk for a bit, or yeah.
Try and talk happily, like he's got new friends now. He's found his purpose in life. And he also says, oh, and this doesn't too much, I don't know, but, well, I might as well come out and say it. I did figure out what the name I was born with was.
And that is?
I was born with the name Shannon.
They kind of look at each other and say, do you prefer that name?
I'm not sure. I think there's still parts of me that's attached to being Lucius, but the sense of purpose I have and the acceptance with myself, it feels like something I as Lucius could never really accomplished. So honestly, I'm fine with being called either. I'll probably go by Lucius for the majority of people I meet, but I don't mind if a few people call me Shannon either.
We'll do whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay. For now, at least, until I leave, can you keep calling me Lucius?
Certainly.
Okay. Anyways, it's been great talking with you again. It's been great being a family again, and I'll be back for dinner, but there's a few more things I need to do in town first.
Yeah. We'll prepare the best dish for you we can.
Alright. Thanks. And Lucius gives him a bit of a wave before he heads out.
And where are you headed next?
He takes a moment. He was initially going to speak with Everest next, but he thinks on it for a moment and he decides, well, it may or may not matter at this point in time, and he'd rather not get kicked out of the town before he has that last dinner and night with his family. So instead, he's gonna head to Scala's house.
All right. Yeah, you find your way there quite easily. It's a pretty small mining town, so much like Rain, it's kind of easy to navigate, despite not being here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You were at her dwelling.
So yeah, at this point in time, Lucius is really nervous now and really pausing, trying to sort of parse out in his head what he's going to say and how he's going to say it. But after getting his thoughts together, he knocks on the door.
That is when the door creaks open, and it is Scala. Lucius?
Hi, Scala. It's been a while.
What are you doing back? I thought you,
Yeah, I know we didn't exactly part well, but I'm basically back as a sort of visit and break from what I've been doing, and I wanted to talk with a few Pokemon around here before I go back to it, as it were.
Well, that's great. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. Do you mind if we talk? There are a couple of things I need to tell you, including one important thing that I should have told you a long time ago.
She hesitates for a second and says, "Sure. Okay."
Okay. Lucius sort of waits to see if she's like gonna invite him inside or they're gonna do this outside. He's sort of waiting for her reaction first.
Oh, it doesn't seem like she's invited you inside. It just seems like she's she's assuming you like wanted to tell her something, so she's just kind of like waiting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucius says, "Can we speak inside? I don't want too many Pokemon either overhearing this or, well, you know how some of the town's Pokemon are around me, so I'd rather not have this be interrupted."
She says, "Oh, okay. My parents are home, so yeah, you know it might."
Oh, okay, that's a fair point. You know what? Let's head to the library. We were always usually alone when we went to there. Let's go to the library and talk then, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of walk to the library with her, and you see Tomas in there too. He said, "Oh, hey, Lucius."
Hey, Tomas. Good to see the library is doing fine after everything that happened.
Oh, yeah, it's been moved back and forth multiple times. It's hard to put everything back in alphabetical order.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, the first trouble wasn't up to me, but I just wanted to make sure you guys were all safe, just in case there was something I was worried about, but I'm glad things are going fine at least.
Yeah. It's kept in good order.
All right. Do you mind if Scala and I head into the back as usual?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It might not be as organized as I hoped it to be. If you see something out of order, maybe put it back in order for me.
All right. We'll do that.
All right, and you head into the back of the library.
Mm-hmm.
There's some
So is the
tables
back.
there.
So is the back pretty vacant?
Yeah, you don't see many people go into the library. It's the typical universe law, like not many people go into the library.
Yeah, that's basically exactly what Lucius was banking on. So, Lucius sits with Skull and he says, I suppose I'll ask you, what would you like to... I've got... This is really hard for me. I suppose I can at least say this. Scala, I'm not here permanently, as I said. There's something I need to do, something very important, and it's something that sounds so surreal you probably wouldn't even believe me if I told you, but I absolutely have to do it. And when I go do that, there's possibility I might not make it back. I'm not saying that I'm not going to make it back, but it's a high possibility.
Can you be a little less vague?
Well, I told you it sounds unbelievable, but basically, do you remember that incident that happened here a few months ago with everyone suddenly ending up in the mines being mind controlled?
Yeah, how can I forget that?
That was caused by a group of humans called Needhog, and they're currently our on our moon up high in the sky, and they're planning on basically they believe that they need to destroy this world in order to save their own. And me and my new friends, the ones who I came here and helped the town, we're going to the moon to stop them and prevent them from doing what they want to do.
She kind of like is taken aback by this as much as an Esper can, and she
Yeah,
says,
I know. It sounds unbelievable.
"No, I do believe you." Mostly,
Thanks. Honestly, hearing that is sort of a relief.
mostly because you're a really bad liar, and so I can tell if you're lying.
Uh, well, when you put it that way, yeah, I kind of.
But
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
do why do you have to do this? Surely there's much more qualified. No offense or anything, but there's way more qualified, stronger Pokemon in this world that handle stuff like that.
To be honest, I don't take any. I feel the same way. If I could, I would honestly prefer to have a stronger Pokemon, a smarter Pokemon, take my place and go to the moon instead. There's a strong part of me that desperately wishes it, but and this is again, going to sound crazy, but the voice of death by happenstance chose me and my friends and gave us the ability to go to the moon without suffocating up there and being unable to breathe. I and my friends are one of the few Pokemon who can go up there, and I can't let them go it alone. I couldn't forgive myself if I stayed here while they went up.
You know, I normally I'd tell you just to stay here, but I think we both know that's not best for you.
No, if I stayed here, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to really think about anything else, be able to do anything else but worry about them. And in some ways, this is my duty. I've learned a lot from my adventures, and I feel like this is just something I need to do. But if it helps at all, the way to the moon is, as far as we're aware, a one-way trip. It requires a special kind of ore that, as far as we know, are no longer exist on this world. I'm also here looking around for this ore just in case, and even if I don't find it, I'll still do my darndest to come back. But right now it's looking like it's a one-way trip to the moon.
Okay, now this is ridiculous. You can't possibly go on a one-way trip to the moon. That's suicide.
Maybe it is. I don't want it to be honest. But if I don't go, who else will?
You said you had friends. They can go, right?
They can, but they need me. I'm sort of the leader of this ragtag bunch of Pokemon, and they need my support in order to make it. Trust me, I've thought long and hard about this. From the moment I've heard, I'm afraid, Scala. I'm so afraid.
Well, who
I don't
wouldn't
want
be?
to just go. I don't want to just go up there and just die. I don't want to save the world and not be able to see it. I remember when I left here, I was fully prepared to die if it meant somebody else can live, but I don't want that anymore. I want to live with Pokemon instead of die for them.
Then, if you're feeling like this, then don't do it.
Told you, it's if I don't do it and they fail, then it's the end of everything. You, me, this entire planet, everything. We need all the manpower we can in order to give us the best chance of surviving.
I am going to delay her response, and we're going to cut back to Rodney.
Okay.
Almost got it. Here it is. Pulling out of his bag, Well, Doc, you probably don't know what this is, but Phantom probably would recognize it. It seems to be like a rubber kind of like material, and it sort of looks like Rodney? I don't think I'm gonna be needing this where I'm going, so it's my fake Rodney inflatable. If you want to put it somewhere and decorate it, do it. I don't expect anyone to remember what I did if I somehow come back alive, but if something were to happen to me up there, I want to at least make you make sure that you don't forget me.
Yeah, so what he pulls out is this kind of... It's basically an inflatable decoy version of him.
Funny. Over the past 2 months, every opportunity I had to use it, but I never even got a chance to use the thing, but I guess I do now.
Well, I mean, I guess we could, like, use it as a mascot or something, but are you sure you want to give this to us, Roland? I mean, you still might need it when you're on the moon.
We're going out to a place where many of the people we're going to encounter are humans. I don't think we'll be needing it that much.
Lee just kind of looks at Phantom.
I think it's probably
insist,
more
just
useful.
take it.
I think it's going to be more useful to you than to us, but...
No, please.
Alright.
Just take the darn thing.
And Phantom
I
does
would never
so.
forgive myself if I didn't.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to forget you.
Yeah. I guess I'm being overly rash, but it would just make me feel better when I go up to the moon, alright? Knowing that it's in your safe, capable hands.
Alright.
Everything will be fine, right?
Yeah.
Lee doesn't say anything, but he just kind of nods slowly.
And unless Lee has any questions for both Rodney and Phantom, that's kind of everything I had.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
Yeah, just one more thing.
Name
Don't
it.
tell my brother or my mother where I'm going, alright? If I don't come back, then you can tell them, but so long as there's an opportunity for me to come back alive, don't tell them where I am, okay? My mother's a career woman, but if she knew that there was a possibility I wouldn't come back alive, it probably would kill her.
So you're okay with her dying as long as it doesn't have to be on your conscience. I got it, he says with a little wink. No, I can do that.
Thank you. You don't mind me staying around for the night before I go back to what I was going to head out for?
No, not at all.
Thank
Make
you.
yourself at home.
Yeah, all the time in the world, huh? Okay. And unless anyone has any other questions for me, or an opportunity to do this since Phantom and Rodney are both here, that's pretty much all I had to say.
Okay. We'll see if something happens as we go back to Rain. Yeah, you the last notes of the music box stop playing as you notice this Fennekin kind of sitting there on the near the cliffside, kind of looking out at the water.
I kind of pack up the music box and I walk over there. I'm like,
Excuse me? Do you need something?
She says, she kind of like looks at you and she says, "No, I'm okay."
inside check. I'm kidding. Unless you want me to.
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead and insight check her.
Yeah. It's a D&D session. I'm going to roll, damn it.
You're the only one who's rolled. Yeah, you don't know. She's just
Right.
kind of apathetically staring out at the ocean.
Okay.
I'm still a little worried about her, so...
She says,
You mind if I sit next to you?
why not? That was a nice song.
Thank you. It was a song that my grandpa taught my mom, who taught it to me.
I'm
It's
sorry to hear that.
it's comforting. It's okay. I'm Rain, by the way.
I'm Carol.
Kind of... I guess... Nah. We don't have hands to shake. I can't do that.
No. I'm not here for anyone in particular. It's just the most notable cemetery I know, and well, it's a nice view.
Yeah. Beautiful.
She says to you, how do you cope with it?
Well, it's tricky, but it's kind of hard to cope with things like this.
Mm-hmm.
But an important thing to remember is that the first step doesn't matter, nor does the last one. All that matters is the next step.
Roll a d6 and add that to your luck points. Sorry.
4.
Yeah, so basically you could add 4 to any roll, or you could 2 to 1 on me, and so you could remove 2 from any roll I make. So if
Okay.
so something rolls an 18, I roll an 18 on you, you can turn it 16. Or
Okay.
you could turn your 18 into a 22. It works like that.
Gotcha.
All right. She says to you, yeah. But just a hypothetical here. What if you found out the source of your loved one's death was in fact because of an individual?
That's a bit trickier.
Mm-hmm. Your private mind kind of, you can't answer because your mind is probably searching for the most altruistic thing to say, but you know in your heart of hearts what you probably would do. But then, what if you found out that individual was living a happy, carefree life with obliviousness to the pain they caused you? You know what would you do then? Would you just sit there doing nothing knowing this information?
I look at her. Does she look angry?
She doesn't look angry per se. She's kind of just giving the same kind of somewhat determined look at the ocean. You also notice she's wearing this green and teal scarf around her neck.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean anything to me?
No, it means absolutely nothing to you. It's a nice looking scarf.
Yeah.
Again, another hard question.
Yeah,
Are you sure there's nothing I can do for you?
I've subscribed myself to doing things my own way, by myself. All I need are tools. Nothing less, nothing more.
I take out a Norenberry, and I give it to her.
She kind of looks over at it and not... I don't need that. Let's just say I need something... things that are a lot more potent. For the record, I lost my mother too.
I'm sorry to hear.
And my father. And my brother. So, I could understand well, you seem to be handling grief in a very different way. It's color me curious, I guess.
Everyone has their own process.
Indeed. She says... She kind of turns around to you and looks at you. You sure Never mind. I should be going now. She starts heading in the other direction.
Wait.
She stops and turns around.
I don't know entirely what you've been through other than what you've told me. But I wish you the best.
As do I. Give another insight check on her, Rain.
Okay.
Give you another chance at this since you actually talked to her.
I immediately... It's +3. Got it.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
There you go. So you get some very odd vibes from this Pokemon. It seems she's just looking at her, you think she's like kind of wise beyond her years. And there's definitely, you could just sense this twinge of vengeance in her, in just like everything she said. Like she definitely intends to act upon the things that she was subtly conveying to you.
Did I get the sense that this was about me or
No.
anyone I would know?
No, you have a feeling she genuinely just met you.
Okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like her ire is targeted towards you in any way.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she heads off again.
Kind of watch her leave.
Yeah. She seems to be heading like out of town towards a mystery dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you're free again. You're alone in this cemetery.
All right. I look at the view for a little bit. Stand back up. Go back to the grave. Stare in silence. And whenever I'm ready, I say,
I love you, Mom. It was good talking to you again. See you soon.
Just as you
and
hear that, just as you say that, you hear like this tide kind of come in from the ocean.
I feel a sense of warmth. And I head back home.
Mayhaps we'll head back to Lucius. Maybe we will fill out this 2 hours.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the library, where we left off with you talking about going to the moon, correct? She says, "This is crazy. You shouldn't have to throw your life away. There has to be another way." Did I die? Are you muted? Uh-oh. Lucius?
I think Sonic Link is the one who's dead.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll give him a sec.
Didn't even need to go to the moon first.
Yeah. Space is a vacuum. Except in the Star Wars world, that's when you can just hear them go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason my microphone ended up disconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyways, Lucius says... Oh gosh, this sounded so much better when I said it the first time. Gosh darn you, Mike. Lucius says, I know it is, but at the very least, I don't intend to just go up there, fulfill my mission, and die. No matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes, I will try and find whatever way I can to come back.
Seeing how stubborn you are about this, she kind of relents and says, "Look, you have to promise you'll find a way back."
I promise you. After all, I've got a very important reason to come back. This leads to, well, the second thing I wanted to tell you. Something something I should have told you a long, long time ago. Lucius pulls out the rainbow flower he managed to pick up from the primeval forest.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Scala, for the longest time, I've had a crush on you. Since a little after you were kind to me when no one else was, when you had every reason to be just as angry as everyone else, I fell for you. But I never told you because I never felt I deserved you, or I always felt that it'd be better off if I just never told you. Maybe I was afraid of you rejecting me, or maybe I was afraid of, or maybe I just believed it, I didn't deserve it, but I just want you to know before I leave just how much you mean to me.
She pauses and looks down and says, "To be honest, I'm not surprised. I've felt the same way for years now. I got the impression that, well, you didn't like me."
You did?
You seemed so off by yourself. You rarely asked for any support from anyone, despite what cruelty this town gave you. I figured that you just wanted to be left alone.
I know, and that's probably going to always be my greatest regret. When I feel like I've done something wrong, I always just want to feel like I need to sort it out alone, or I need to deal with it on my own, and I push away the Pokemon who care for me. I'm sorry I did that to you, too.
No one's an island, Lucius. You have to take support when you need it.
I know. Since starting this journey, I didn't really initially get along with, well, not really get along, but I didn't initially confide with my friends, but the more and more we went on this journey, the more they supported me and the more I supported them, the more I realized that we as Pokemon, we shouldn't ever exist alone. There are many Pokemon who think they need to do things on their own and think that they have to be alone, but the greatest things we can accomplish, the things that can create miracles we can never possibly imagine, it's when we all work together. We all work side by side. That's when we can do amazing things. And I learned that over my journey.
I've changed my mind. Don't just come back, Lucius. Don't come back alone. You're taking others with you. Make sure each and every one of them come back with you.
I plan on it. They're my friends. And I'm gonna do my darndest to make sure that we all can come back alive. That we all can see our families, friends, and loved ones again in a new peaceful world. And me and myself, when I come back, I want to see you again. I want to see your smiling face. I want to share in the joy with you.
Very well. I'll wait at the gates with a smile.
All right, and I can't wait to see you then. He hands the flower to her and he says, take this as a reminder of our promise, and I'll be back.
She grabs it and holds it to her chest.
Thank you. Thank you for so much, Scala.
No, thank you.
That's when she gives you a peck on the cheek, and then she walks off.
Lucius, for a moment, he's just standing there wide eyes, and he feels where she gave him that peck, and he just has this sort of soft smile on his face as he feels a feeling he hasn't really felt in forever. He feels a touch of true happiness. And yeah, that's what he does before he finally leaves the library himself and heads home with a rare smile on his face.
Mm-hmm. Do you plan on staying there for the dinner, or is that...
Yeah, he plans on going home for dinner and plans on eating there, and then before he leaves, he plans on talking with Everest.
All right. Let's go back to Rain. We can possibly close out your version yet.
All right.
Yeah, you're on the way home, and yeah, you go back to your dwelling, and you see your grandfather and father. Your father is eating right now because you assume that's what was being prepared for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's come back.
Hi.
Well, you didn't get into the major details of your journey. Why don't you tell me those over dinner, Rain? Oh, yeah, there was the part where he lost
No
his mind.
spoilers, Grandpa.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to ruin the story now. Okay.
I sit down at the table and regale the tale
Yeah.
of Rain and the Dark Heroes. I don't leave out a single detail.
Including the moon part?
Including the moon part.
The moon part. Oh, wait, you're actually serious about that?
Yes?
Oh.
It's a very long story, and I'm not quite sure of the details myself, but that's our next destination.
Well, I've never been there, You have to plant a flag there, son. Claim it in our family name.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see. Maybe it's a bit of arts and crafts time. What's do we have a family crest? No, Dad, we don't. Oh, we can make one. What should we put on it, Rain? And that's what he kind of like sweeps the food off the table, and he gets this blank flag and some paint.
I take off my scarf and put it on the table.
This.
Well, if you're gonna go up there, you might want to put something a little less, precious.
I didn't mean literally use the scarf. I just meant the emblem on it.
Oh, right. Okay, so it's basically the R, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, why don't you help me with this? My eyes aren't what they used to be.
I help him with it.
Yeah. Let's do a performance dexterity.
Performance dexterity?
Yeah, so basically use your dexterity, and if you have proficient, it's basically you're just using your dexterity if you're not proficient in performance.
I am not proficient in performance, so I will use dexterity.
So it's just a dex check.
22.
Oh, okay, yeah. You could almost make a perfect replica of your scarf in flag form. There we go. Still have it in you. Steady fins.
It looks great.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, I wish we could immortalize this somewhere else, but to the moon it goes. Ha ha! Are you sure you're up to doing something like this, son? You're still quite young.
I know. But I can't just abandon my friends. And this feels like something I have to do.
Loyalty is a virtue that runs thick in our family. Let him do it. He'll be back. Won't you, Rain? Tell us all about this next chapter.
I will. I promise.
Indeed, that's a good boy. Anyway, we're in the middle of eating, weren't we? Yeah, you knocked most of it on the floor. Oh, let me just pick that up. Yeah, 3-second rule, 3-minute rule, what's the difference? He kind of just picks the berries and fish back on, but plops them on a plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I assume you kind of enjoy a nice family dinner together. And
that's all I got.
yeah, Rodney, you got nothing else?
Not unless I get any comments from anyone else.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll close out with the last of Lucius's stuff. All right. Yeah. Lucius, you go back home. Maybe discuss things about the adventure, what your highs and lows, until dinner is ready, and it's probably your favorite meal. Is you probably enjoyed as a young boy. They specifically made for you. Maybe they went out and got the ingredients before while you were out at the library, and you begin to enjoy your meal. I don't know how you feel during all of this, but your parents seem trying to keep the mood up.
Lucius definitely feels like he feels a sense of peace, but he also does feel the weight that's about to approach him.
Yeah.
So I suppose a happy but painful determination, so sort of bittersweet determination, I suppose.
Yeah. That's when there is a knock at the door, and your mother says, "Oh, I'll get it. I wasn't expecting anyone." And you hear the door open, and she comes back, and she looks at you, Lucius, and says, It's for you.
Oh, really? Who is it?
It's a Pokemon I don't know. He just said he wants to talk to you.
Okay. Lucius gets up and he walks to the door.
All right. It's kind of, you live in a small dwelling, and it's kind of like cut off by the hallway. And when you peek around the kind of threshold to the kitchen to this hallway to the front door, that your mother kind of leads you to, she says, he said he's a friend of yours. And you see a Sneasel standing at the front door. Hi, Lucius.
Oh, hi, Londo.
Who's this?
He's Pokemon I met on the ship to Lively Town.
Yeah, we became good friends.
We had a bit of heart to heart on there, and yeah.
Am I intruding on anything?
I imagine he probably wants to talk with me alone, but I'll be right back. Don't worry, Mom.
Okay. Just come back. Don't let your food get cold.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry, Mom. I won't.
Indeed, I just wanted a little heart-to-heart with Lucius.
And, he's just kind of creepily standing at the front of your door.
Hey, Londo. So, what brings you all the way over here?
Like I said, I just wanted a word with you.
Alright. What do you want to talk about?
He says to you,
So you're really doing it, huh?
Of course. I don't see any reason why not.
I just had a few questions since, I thought you'd chicken out. But here you are saying goodbye to everyone.
I mean, it's almost my duty to go up there. So, and if it's not like there's many other Pokemon who can do it, so.
Mm-hmm. If I could, I would, but I can't. They're a thorn in my side as well. But
I'd ask how, but I assume that's something you're not going to tell me.
let's just say, they are a nuisance that will, put a wrench in my plans. That's all I'll say. But enough of them. I was just wondering, what do you think it means to be a hero, Lucius?
That's an interesting question, honestly. Because if you were to ask me so long ago, and even if you were to ask me right now, I honestly wouldn't consider myself a hero. I'd consider myself someone who's just thrust into a situation almost outside of his control, but choosing to walk forward, follow whatever path he was laid out for him, and do what needs to be done. But if you want an actual definition instead of my ramblings, a hero is someone who's willing to help others in spite of what they themselves want.
That's the wrong answer, Buckaroo. Wrong answer. It's a glamorized word. That's all it is. It's just meant for the tag to send people to their doom. Tell me, do you think it's fair that the world demands these heroes to throw themselves away for fleeting peace?
Do you want me to be honest?
Oh, of course I do.
No, I don't believe it's fair.
Then why do it?
Because, fair or not, right or wrong, there are people who want to make a difference, or maybe they need to make a difference. There's something important they have that they want to keep, or something that they can't lose no matter what. So they willingly go forth. They willingly play themselves as the sacrifice, walking into whatever dangers they can, because that is their choice.
Yeah, that's the self-righteous garbage I expected you'd say. So, what or who is worth giving a life away for? And if you're saying your loved ones, how are they supposed to react to a hero's noble sacrifice? Now bereft of a cherished relationship?
Well, you figured out my answer at least, and, well, there are many ways they could react to it.
What if that hero meant more to you than the world itself? And the world without them is merely the abyss they tried to save it from.
Then you would probably hate the world, I'd imagine. Just like you do. But to me, I'd ask myself, why were they so willing to give themselves up to save the world?
Oh, you think they want to give up their lives? They have to give up their lives, Lucius. Okay, let me put it this way. Are you going up there because you want to, or are you going up there because you're forced to?
In all honesty, I could not go up. I could stay here. And there's a strong part of me that wants to. But I know if I don't, I'd hate it. I'd hate myself for backing off, for being a coward, and not going up and supporting my friends who are also going through this danger.
That's because of the judgment of these charlatans. That's why you feel guilty about it.
Oh, no, not at all. You can ask most of the town. They hate my guts. I'm not doing it for them.
Then why are you here?
I'm here to set my mind at ease, to say goodbye to my loved ones before I leave. The rest of the town, though, there's one Pokemon I plan on talking to, but I don't exactly expect to get anywhere with that.
How arrogant you are, Lucius.
can't see the difference between what you choose to do or what you're forced to do. You try to rationalize it all in your mind, saying it's noble, for the best. I knew someone like you, Lucius.
Maybe you're right.
And all that's left of him is... he wasn't even... his spirit doesn't even exist anymore. You want to end up like that? Forgotten? Sure, they'll praise your name for weeks, for months, for years. Eventually you'll become a legend, then a myth, and then merely forgotten. That is the destiny of a hero, Lucius.
I don't care. I'm not doing this for praise. I'm not doing this to be remembered across the ages.
I guess I got my answer then. You don't have to worry, Lucius. I'm not gonna destroy your little town. Yet, anyway. I have that much respect for you for doing this.
Very well.
Goodbye, Lucius.
Goodbye, Londo. Or would you prefer me to call you by your other name?
Call me whatever you wish.
Alright. Then goodbye, Londo.
He kind of walks off. Just leaves you alone by this cliffside you were talking by.
I suppose you never really asked how they felt about it. But that's fine. Lucius sighs and then heads back into his house with his family.
They greet you back and wonder where he went.
It's like he said. We just had a little heart-to-heart.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good that you made friends on your journey.
Mm-hmm. It's what I really needed to do all along. No Pokemon is an island.
You continue enjoying the meal, and you eventually finish.
Alright, and yeah, Lucius goes to his room for the last time, or what could possibly be the last time, enjoying the bittersweet memories of home before falling asleep.
Alright, I guess we can end it there. 2 hours,
Okay.
baby! Yeah!
2 hours and 10 minutes, technically, but...
Yeah, just cutting it close. The real challenge is trying to fill this with 2 people.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, that's our part 1 of the season finale of Pokemon Dark Heroes Dungeons and Dragons. Tune in Wednesday for part 2 where we join Henry and Raffa and see what...
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
RP...
Thank you, Doc and Quill, for being here.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for inviting us back.
Yeah. Did you, I know, like, it's hard to keep up with the series, so, like, Doc, you're like, oh, what? Why are they talking to this guy again? Like, why are they talking about why is there...
I got enough of an update from Quill to more or less know what's going on.
Alright, yeah. Well, that's good. Anyway, we shall close things out, and we'll see you Wednesday with Henry and Raffa and see what antics they get into.
Yep.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.